Where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby, Scooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. You gotta simmer. You're here with me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. Yo, fears! Audience fears. What's going on? Coffee first? Right over here. In my new mug, Abraham off The Walking Dead. Abraham says, suck my nuts. Ew! Anyway, good morning, guys. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing great. I hope you guys are doing utterly fantastic. Well, since it's Lanterns Day, I thought I would do a morning stream. I literally just got off of work like 40 minutes ago. So I got home, I took a shower, had something to eat, little blueberries, there we are, and I thought I would do a show. All right. My new Exhumed Visions shirt on, yeah, dude. Also, the reason why I played Scooby-Doo. One, we're in the Halloween season. Two, I started watching, right here, last night I watched 3 episodes of it. So tonight I'm going to watch a couple more episodes. I don't even know how many episodes it has. Hang on. Oh, Jesus. Hang on. Let's see, it's got 3 discs. Yeah, 3 discs. So it shouldn't take me too long. It's got, 4 discs. 4 discs. 41 episodes. So not too bad. Not too shabby. Anyway, so I just started on these. Now, I used to watch these all the time as a kid, but this is the first time I've had the Blu-ray 4K edition, our Blu-ray edition, excuse me. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I don't know if it's too early to call Lantern. So, I'm definitely not going to call Lantern. I'm just going to do my show. Anyway, we had a pretty nice day. Pretty nice morning so far. I had a good work day. We only had like 39-something thousand. So nothing too epic. Anyway, today, on today's agenda, let me just open up the live, and we got a bunch to talk about. Yeah. I'm having a great morning. A really good morning. Work was good. I had a nice shower. I had some toast for breakfast with some blueberries. Today's topics. I'm finally going to sit down and read the condensed version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Then I thought it'd be cool to read some history on Sleepy Hollow. Who made it up, which is Washington Irving. He wrote it, where he was from, why he made the story, all that. Then we're going to do some movie reviews, and if there's time, we're going to bust out a couple Halloween traditions. All right. So, let me get my book real quick. Oh, yeah. All right. All right, here we go. Let's open up the chat, and let's get a rockin'. Halloween traditions. All right. There we go. A little bit of an echo. Let me get my book real quick. Hang on. Oh, yeah. A little bit of an echo there. Hang on. All right. Here we go. Let's open up the chat, and let's get a rockin'. Halloween traditions. All right. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, well, sorry about the echo. Yo, what's up, guys? Good to see you. What's up, Jucifer? What's up, Mama Bear? Good to see you. Good to see you. Anyway, let's see. Mama Bear says, hello, John. Dave and James is at SeaWorld. Okay, well, that's good. There you go. And then he says, hey, Slim, what's up, Jucifer? How did the Lantern stream last night go? I fell asleep. Went pretty good. Went really good. Oh, yeah. Now, I will say this. I don't know why, but Danny D made fun of me. I have no idea why. Me and Danny D have never gotten along. I think he thinks that I'm trying to steal Lantern away from him, which I'm clearly not. But apparently I can't, talk about horror movies. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Danny D, you can go fuck yourself. That's right, Danny D. Take a knife and slit your throat. I don't care about Danny D. If Danny D died tomorrow, I could care less. Please, I'm begging you. Anyway, so I don't really care about Danny D or his life or what he has to say, you know. He's just a hater. He's just a hater. Anyway. Right, well, let's get a rockin', shall we? Let's get a rockin'. I think we should start off with The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Quite appropriate for the Halloween, you know. So, let's do that, shall we? All right, here we go. Bam! The condensed version. Oh, hang on. There we are. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving, retold by Will Moses. That's right. Yo, what's up, Crumbles? You made it just in time. We're about to read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, retold and illustrated by Will Moses, from the original story written by Washington Irving. There we are. And he painted all these pictures. So, yeah. This story happened down in the lower Hudson Valley of New York State. Not so far from where I grew up, way back when America was still a very young country. Well, this guy must be very old then. So, nestled near the banks of the Hudson River and populated by Dutch and German blood lies a mysterious, dreamy little settlement called Sleepy Hollow. There we are. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Now, we've all heard of the story of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The Headless Horseman. He used to be a soldier. But I thought it'd be nice. I thought it would be nice to have a nice little read. Since time before time, there have been many stories among the settlers in the bowels of Sleepy Hollow. But there's one story of all stories, and that is the legend of the Headless Horseman. When Sleepy Hollow is indeed bewitched, I don't know why or for sure, but I think it must have been. The folks who lived there certainly have been getting to believe of ghostly tales, haunted spooks, and twisted visions were plentiful. Ooh, okay. Reports of strange noises and musics float on the night air were so common. King of the tales and spirits who haunted the valley in those days was a ghostly, headless figure riding on horseback. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Let's see, where did I leave off? And he was said to be the ghost of a Hessian soldier whose head was shot off at the shoulders by a cannonball during the Revolutionary War. Oh, shit. Okay. I'm summarizing, mind you, because I'm not going to read this whole damn thing. Nowadays, a school teacher by the name of Ichabod Crane wandered into the strange, dreamy little town, traveling from his home in Connecticut and seeing the need of for a school teacher. Ichabod Crane appointed himself as the new schoolmaster and started a school for the children of Sleepy Hollow. The name of Crane was perfect for this fellow, Ichabod, for he was very tall and slanky with narrow shoulders. Right here. Right here. Okay. So, I'm going to sum all this up. So, basically, he forms the school, and he's the new guy in town. Let's move on. So, he begins teaching the kids, and he also has supper with the old school teacher. Everyone seems to be happy. That's right. Let's see here. All in all, Ichabod had made quite a satisfactory life for himself in the town of Sleepy Hollow. His needs were comfortable, taken care because of his respected position as the schoolmaster. The truth is, though, the schoolmaster was an odd mix. He was intelligent and popular, yet he would delight for hours in the tales of mysterious happenings that were told about Sleepy Hollow. Oh, shit. Oh, Lord. Now we're talking. I wish James could be here to hear Fears read for him. There you are. Okay. I'm going to skip a few chapters. Then, as the evening drew near, Ichabod would slunk onward into the twilight and go across the troubled bridge. Now, he should have went right, but he went left. And in doing so, Ichabod was met by the headless horseman. He ran and 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 he ran. But he could not get away from the headless horseman. He came back to the town, telling the townsfolk what happened. They didn't believe him. And then he rode into town just as Halloween night had came upon them. There they are at the Halloween gathering. Nice turkey. Look at that. Okay. The party had began. There we are. There's the party. There we are. I know the story off by heart because this is like 40 pages, and I'm not going to bore you guys with 40 pages. So, the party starts. Everybody's having a good time. Let's see here. The Headless Horseman, he left the party and he went across, again, the troubled bridge. He told, where he met up with the Headless Horseman. The Headless Horseman told him to go back. But Ichabod was no fear of danger, my friends. Then, the pumpkin illuminated with light. The area near the bridge, spooky even on a summer's night, was in the dark of the night, most frightful. Then all at once the headless Hessian rider changed into a skeleton, tossed the pumpkin away, and started chasing after poor old Ichabod. Ooh, oh my lord. Ichabod ran and ran and ran and ran and ran, but the Headless Horseman shall have his day. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. There he is. You know, trying to figure out his way out of here. Night kept getting darker and darker for old Ichabod. He had ran out of gunpowder. What should he do? And then morning broke. The townspeople looked and looked and looked and looked and looked for weird old Ichabod. The following Sunday, a group of churchgoers gathered at the spot where Ichabod's hat had laid on the ground and a pumpkin was found. Remembering the frightful stories recently shared by townsfolk, they figured that old Ichabod must have been carried off to his doom by the Headless Horseman. The schoolmaster's belongings, including his book of New England witchcraft and a book of Ichabod's attempts at love poetry, were gathered and burned. As Ichabod was a bachelor and had no family and owed nothing to anyone, no one in Sleepy Hollow bothered to give the missing schoolmaster another thought. Well, that sucks. And then it says, as for what really happened to Ichabod Crane, you will have to decide for yourself. However, agreed with the old Duchess housewives, who firmly believe He was spirited away by the fearless headless horseman. The old Dutch wives are, after all, the best judge of character. The end. There you are. So that was a very, 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 very condensed version. If you actually read the actual longer story, the longer story is about 50 pages. It's not a novel, it's a short story. It's very violent, very brutal, very bloody, and it does not end well for Ichabod. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I summed a lot of stuff up. So yeah. Plus, I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna do a live, but I eventually need to get some sleep. So yeah, there we are. Let's see. Dave always goes back and watches it. Nice. I appreciate that. I did. Well, let's look up some history, shall we? Of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow history. I've always enjoyed that story. I read a condensed version of it when I was, I don't know, 4th or 5th grade, something like that, and I've always found that story interesting. So here we go. It says, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow was written by Washington Irving and published in 1819 as a work of fiction, though it draws on the history and folklore of the Dutch settlements in the Hudson River Valley area. Specified the area near Traditons, New York. The story is a fictional tale set in 1790 about a schoolmaster named Ichabod Crane who was terrified by the legend of a headless horseman while competing for the hand of a wealthy farmer's daughter. The horseman itself is likely a composite inspired by German folklore, such as the Wild Woodsman, and possibly a historical Hessian soldier beheaded during the American Revolution. Nice. Nice. It's very cool. And then there's a video. Let's play the video. Let's see here.
Did you know a new AC and heating
system? So this
in
video
Central
will
Florida
give you more
cost
information.
Just $95 per month. Air Care of Central Florida.
Let's listen to this.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow was popular enough nearly 100 years ago for one of Hollywood's biggest stars at the time, Will Rogers, to take a stab at bringing the ghost story to the big screen. It was first published 200 years ago by Washington Irving, considered by many to be the father of the American short story. Sleepy Hollow may be America's all-time great ghost story.
I mean, it is without a doubt the most legendary ghost story. So Washington Irving really knew what he was doing. But just listen to this. Just listen to this.
Years later, is still linked forever to Halloween. Today, we visit the history of this classic tale in the spot where it all began. Most people passing by these days don't even know it's there. But 25 miles north of New York City, in a place overlooking the Hudson River, the legend of the Headless Horseman took off. I can't think of a more iconic Halloween character than the Headless Horseman.
He really is the one. He's kind of the original American ghost story, and he's our arch villain.
Elizabeth Bradley is an author, an expert on the man who first told of the horseman 200 years ago, Washington Irving. He wrote here.
He did, and he wrote in that room right there. That was his study.
We spoke to Bradley at Irving's famed Sunnyside estate.
The stories he wrote were witty, mischievous, anarchic, and they have really formed the foundation for so much of American literature.
Mischievous is a good word for it.
So this woman that he's talking to actually owns Washington Irving's old writing house, and it's still there. That's pretty badass. And I guess she's related to Washington Irving, so it makes sense why she would still own, the house. But that house is so old, but they built them to last back in that day. I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go to Sleepy Hollow and do a vlog there. Adam the Woo has done it. I didn't get the idea from him. I've watched him do it, but I've always wanted to do that. At some point, I would love to just either rent a car and drive up to that New York area and stay in town somewhere, just kind of explore the city, or fly there and then grab a car and drive. either one. I think it'd be cool to drive up there, make a road trip out of it. One day I would love to do that. If I do that, I'm going to bring Dave with me, or Elsie, or ask Jeff, or, somebody to come with me, because, that would be absolutely spectacular, my friends. Anyway, let's continue on.
Definitely. Definitely.
Set shortly after the American Revolution, Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow unspools the story of Ichabod Crane, an oddball outsider who arrives in town and pursues a beautiful young woman, Katrina Van Tassel. He is then himself pursued by a local phantom known as the Headless Horseman. As legend goes, the Horseman was a Hessian soldier who lost his head to a cannonball while fighting for the British. He was buried, but it's said he rises from his grave every night in search of his missing skull. The original tale, just 24 pages long, seems to grow more famous each.
Oh, it's not 24. Maybe that was the initial one, but the one that I got from the library, I guess, is in a more elaborate version. It's 50 pages in that one over there. This one was, I think, hang on. Even this condensed version is, let's see here. How many pages? This is way more than 24 pages. It doesn't really have page numbers. I know for a fact it's more than 24 pages for sure. Maybe his original work of art was only 24 pages, but I own a copy, and I mean, it's been rewritten over the years, so I think they're saying the original work of art is 24 pages. The one I have, I think my mom bought it for me, or my grandma bought it for me when I was a kid. It's back in Missouri somewhere. I've read it, and it's about 50, 55 pages, something like that. Anyway, I just wanted to make that. So maybe the original one was 24 pages, but yeah. Anyway, let's continue on, shall we?
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow was popular when it was first published, but it was not the totemic story that we know it today. Nobody had heard of the Headless Horseman. The Headless Horseman was Irving's really to invent in the form in which it took in that story.
The story has spawned countless adaptations, most notably Disney's 1949 classic, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
I need to get that one. I don't have that Disney movie, but it was made in the 40s. So I've watched it, but I don't own it. I need to get it because it's one of my favorite stories. I love the Headless Horseman. I love Sleepy Hollow. I think it's a great. I've read it a bunch of times. It's a good story.
Where are we going? Anywhere but here. And the 1999 Tim Burton film Sleepy Hollow, starring Johnny Depp.
Now I do have that movie, and I've watched it a bunch.
When people revisit The Legend of Sleepy Hollow today, what should they think?
I think they should take the time to appreciate the imagery and the way in which it's inspired all of the adaptations. There is something about the mystery and the way in which Irving describes the landscape as being one of contagion that I think really describes our own obsession with Halloween today.
That contagion takes on an even more eerie relevance these days. Guess what else was happening a little more than 200 years ago? Washington Irving fled a pandemic.
He did. He came to this region first as a teenager, and the reason he did so is because New York was experiencing an epidemic of yellow fever.
So people trying to get out of a major city into the suburbs.
Very much as they are today.
Irving's Sunnyside is still open to visitors, but because of our current pandemic, no one is allowed inside. Where his writing desk and the bedroom where he died in 1859 have been preserved. People of all ages come to hear the stories about the legend.
That's cool that his old house still exists. I'd love to see that. I would love to go to Sleepy Hollow. I'd love to go to it. I would love to see that. That'd be awesome.
And its author, whose penchant for mischief is on full display.
And his house is pretty big. I mean, it's not a mansion, but it's pretty big by this by this this photograph that they're showing, and I guess he was like a millionaire back then because it's a pretty nice house. It's old, but it's nice.
1656 is just a date that Irving put up for the fun of it. You know, this is a little touch of the ways in which Irving liked to play with ideas of authenticity, with the notion of history being fixed.
So people walk by this and say 1656, and like, what does that mean?
They think that the house, as we see it today, must have all been built in 1656, and I think Irving would have loved that.
But it's not true at all.
It's not true. No, there would have been a very small farmhouse here.
Not far away from the house, the graveyard at the old Dutch church where the horseman is said to roam is also a tourist attraction today. So he just hangs out here.
That is what they say. You can come back after dark if you'd like to test that theory.
Oh, I would love that. I would love to go in that graveyard at night, do some vlogging, where the headless horseman resides, excuse me. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Irving is buried in the adjacent Sleepy Hollow Cemetery.
Part of what makes this region feel so charmed and possibly haunted is that not only is his home here, but his gravesite is here, and they're both accessible to anyone who wants to come and see them.
The cemetery even features a bridge, not unlike one that figures prominently in the legend. People know it as the Horseman Bridge.
They know it. They insist this must be the bridge. You know, at the base of this bridge is where they were meant to have found a shattered pumpkin and the saddle of the horse Ichabod rode, and no Ichabod, and he was never seen again.
At least on the pages of Irving's story. What's your favorite version of the story?
I'd say Irving's because there's so much magic in it and there's so much detail and mystery.
So the bridge is there too. Well, obviously I would have to walk across that bridge. I mean, come on. That would be a must. So, if I do this next year, I mean, I would love to. I mean, that would be absolutely so much fun. It would have to be around September or October when I would do it, you know, like where it was the fall season. I'd have to get a coat because in Massachusetts New York, it's very cold, you know, so I don't have a winter jacket. I'd have to buy one, but I mean, it would be worth it to do it. Very cool.
To be mined, and there's a lot of comedy too that people tend to lose sight of.
But the ending in Irving's version remains nebulous.
Yes, it's purposefully vague, I think, and that's part of Irving's genius.
That means that the Headless Horseman then could still be out here.
Absolutely. He's ageless. So, yeah, just, don't look behind you.
Shout out to Seth Fox, his first producer piece there.
Oh,
He did a great job with it. A couple other notes.
That's very cool. So there was that, and then, let's see, what else? What else is there? That just gives you like a taste of the history and everything. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys like the story too, because I mean, I always find that story, it gets you into the Halloween spirit. I mean, right away. I mean, right when I watch that movie or read the book, it's not a novel. It's considered a short story, and it was. It says Irving was influenced by Dutch American folklore, European folklore, the American Revolution, and the local history surrounding the town. And the town has since changed its name to Sleepy Hollow because of the story. Back in the day, it was called Tarrytown, New York. But now it's Sleepy Hollow, New York, which is fucking awesome. It is awesome. So because the story got so big, and it says how the story became a legend. It's a fictional piece of work created by Washington Irving, a fictional tale that became so popular it was mistaken for a genuine folklore, which he intentionally blurred with his tongue-in-cheek style. It had a cultural impact. The legend of Sleepy Hollow is one of the first great American stories, if not the first American ghost stories, help foster a sense of unique American mythology. Modern association, the story themes of ghost, superstition, spooky atmosphere, and its climax on a fine autumn day, often associated with the modern holiday of Halloween. Well, yeah. I try to either read the book every year. Or either watch the movie, or like last year, I rented from the library the Disney movie, which I probably should. When I take that back, I'm gonna take that back to the library today after I get some sleep. I'll see if they actually have that movie, because I've seen it before, but I don't own it. I would like to actually own it one day. But yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it was a summary version, but I didn't want to read all 30 pages. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? All right. Well, time for some movie reviews. All right. So before I went on to Lantern's show last night, I watched 2 movies. So, and during the day yesterday, I watched some movies during the day because I did not stream at all yesterday. I took the day off. I did a little editing. So I watched War Games a few days ago. I just haven't reviewed it, so we're going to start with War Games. So last night I watched Van Helsing. Awesome. If you guys have never seen this movie, it's so good. Amazing music in it too. Loved it. It's fantastic. And then I did make a mistake. I thought I had watched Rear Window. I have not yet. So, my bad. A few days ago, I watched Trick or Treat. So not last night. Last night I watched Van Helsing and Battle Beyond the Stars. Pretty good, my friends. And then, like 3 or 4 days ago, I finally got around to Trick or Treat. Awesome fucking movie. So we're gonna start with Van Helsing. Probably he's another. Is it fact? Is it fiction? You know, do you believe in monsters? Do you not believe in monsters? He is supposed to be the greatest monster hunter of all time. So after I review this, we'll look up some history on Van Helsing. It's got Kate Beckinsale. Ooh yeah, she is a hot tamale. And she was very young when she made this. I think she was like 28, 29, and now she's much older because they made this movie in 2004, so she's much older now, but man, she is still a hottie. Hottie with a body. And of course, you cannot go wrong with Hugh Jackman. I mean, the motherfucker plays Wolverine with the blades. Come on. So you can't go wrong. All right. So let's get things a-rocking. All right. It's a great monster movie. It's got many monsters in it. It's got Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's got Dracula. I am Dracula. It's got Dracula's wives in it, so mini vampires. It's got werewolf. It's got Igor in it. He's not really a monster. He's like an assistant. Victor Frankenstein, the doctor that creates the monster, he's in it for a short time. Then Dracula kills him. Frankenstein's monster is in it. Let's see, what else? There's a lot. So, right off the bat, I love monster movies. I watch them outside of Halloween, around Halloween. I love monster movies. So, yeah. Hey, Danny D, suck it, bitch. He got mad. And I fell asleep, and then towards the end of Lantern's stream, he was bitching, he was moaning, he was complaining. Like, all Fears does is talk about horror movies. Hey, guess what? Hey, Danny D, you can suck my nuts, you motherfucker. It's my show. I can talk about whatever I want. Literally, I don't care what Danny D said. He is the most negative motherfucker I've ever met in my entire life. Literally, if he took a blade and slit his fucking throat and died tomorrow, I could care less if he lives or dies. He is so fucking negative. I hate that motherfucker. So Danny D, you know, I could just take your channel down. So I would tread lightly, Danny D. I could just take your channel down. So, and we're definitely leaning towards that, what's going to happen. So I would shut your little mouth, because you're not going to do jack shit, Danny D. So yeah. Anyway, let's continue on. Alright, so Van Helsing. I'm gonna give it a solid 9 out of 10. Oh yeah, Crumbles. Oh yeah, Crumbles. He was bitching and moaning, complaining at the end of Lantern's show, saying like, why does Fears always talk about horror movies? I don't know. Maybe because I fucking like horror movies, you know? And he was bitching and moaning and complaining to Lantern. And Lantern, you could tell Lantern did not care. Lantern just wanted to go to sleep. And then somebody sent me a time index. I'm not going to say who. And then I watched it because I had already fallen asleep. And then when I woke up, his show was over. I watched the time index and then I went off to work. So yeah. But it's Friday, so I don't have to go into work tonight because I'm off Friday night, Saturday night, and then I'm off all of Sunday, but I go to work Sunday night going into Monday morning. So I don't even understand why he was bitching and moaning and complaining. He was just being a bitch. I'm like, what? I can't talk about horror movies? It's goddamn Halloween, motherfucker. I would still talk about horror movies even if it wasn't the Halloween season. But anyway, yeah, Crumbles, I don't know if you were here, but I would love to actually go to Sleepy Hollow in like maybe next September, maybe next October. I would love to stay there for just a couple of days and just vlog it. I would love to see Washington Irving's grave and then walk across the troubled bridge that's in the cemetery that I guess he got inspiration from, because there's a wooden troubled bridge like in his fucking story. You know for a fact, I'm not afraid of graveyards. I would go there at night and vlog it during the day. I would have to walk across that bridge. So yeah. Let's see. He says, nah, I'm saying what the fuck to you, wanting violent, bloody death on him for slightly criticizing you. No, it's not. No. That's not true. That's not true. He didn't slightly criticize me. Danny D has been bitching and moaning about me for years. So, he's a troll. He's a troll. He's not a good person. He's an evil little shit. So, yeah. But, yeah, I would love... Anyway, I just want to... let's continue on. I just wanted to tell you guys that. I'll definitely take his channel down. He's definitely cruising for a bruising. So, I would... Hush your little mouth, Danny D. Because he's all talk, Crumbles. He's all talk. I'm a man of action. He wants to bitch and moan. I'll just take his channel down. I do not give a shit. So, yeah. Anyway, good movie. Good movie. If you guys have never seen it, it's not a perfect movie. That's why I gave it a 9 out of 10. But it's pretty damn good. It's like... They took all of the old 1930s, 1940s, 1950s monster movies, smashed them all together. I mean, you got everybody. Or almost everybody. The Mummy wasn't in this, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon, but literally the Universal monsters are in this. Yeah. Dracula, Dracula's wives, the Wolfman, Igor, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Van Helsing, Frankenstein's monster, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, and they recreate the scene. It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. So, very cool monster movie. And now, I'll be honest, it's a little old. You know, it's 2025. Now we're, you know, it's 2004. So, it's a little old, but it's still good. So, very good monster movie. Great music. There's a lot of good music in this. So good music. There's some special effects, but there's not too much. You know how like some movies can be just saturated? It's got some really good special effects. So good special effects, but not too much. Good actors in it. It's definitely a action adventure monster movie. So action adventure. There's horror aspects to it. So action adventure horror monster movie. Let's see. I'd say my two favorite scenes. My favorite scene of all time is when Van Helsing and his assistant get to Transylvania, and he starts talking to this woman, trying to get some information because his next assignment is to take down Dracula and his wives and all the insane creatures that he's made up. Right when he gets into town, vampires start attacking the city, and he's got this like kind of machine gun, but it shoots out these metal, instead of wooden stakes, it's metal stakes that he's dipped in holy water, and he's just like, going nuts with it. And he's the first one in, I think, in 100 years to kill a vampire, and then Kate Beckinsale's character's like, I owe you a drink. So that's my favorite scene of all time. So, the attack on the town, that's the best scene. So, the attack on the town. And then my second favorite is... There's so many good scenes. Probably when Victor Frankenstein dies, because it's so iconic, and they filmed the first part of it in black and white, just like the old monster movies. So, the death of Victor Frankenstein. So I highly recommend it. So I recommend it. You guys have got to check this movie out. So, good watch. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom. 2 minutes. Be right back. Ugh. that, guys? I didn't mean to keep you guys waiting. All right. There we go. Sorry about that. All righty. Let's see here. So, yeah, I highly recommend Bad Housing. I really do. It's such a good movie. It is. All right, let's continue on. All right. So, next, a little bit of War Games. Now, people have told me about this movie, and when I was younger, I watched bits and pieces of it, but up until recently, a few days ago, I had never watched it all the way through. So I finally got to sit down, watch it all the way through. I know it's better late than never, but man, Matthew Broderick is kicking ass and taking names in this movie. So good. I'm going to give it a perfect 10. I mean, I hope I don't get criticized for that, but I thought it was a perfect movie. It's classic 80s. It's fantastic. There's not like any boring parts in it. He's just kind of like this nerdy kid that just like wants to play like the best computer games, and then he doesn't really care about school, and he's got a hot ass girlfriend, and then he's like, oh well, I'll just I'll call these numbers and I'll find a bunch of computer games. He does find some computer games, they're just the wrong type, and like this government war machine computer that actually simulates battles thinks that it's just like, or he thinks it's just a simulation, but the computer actually is like, no, this is not a simulation. He just says, would you like to play a game? And he's like, yeah, let's play a game. He just doesn't tell him what type of game, and then all hell breaks loose. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. So War Games. $10 out of 10. I forgot her name, but the same girl that's in The Breakfast Club that plays kind of like the oddball, she plays Matthew Broderick's girlfriend, so that's kind of cool. Matthew Broderick is such a great actor, so good acting. They shot some of it in California, some of it in Colorado. It was all over the place, but man, such a good film. So good movie locations. Action-packed. I would classify it as a action-adventure sci-fi movie. So action-adventure sci-fi movie. I do recommend it. I do. It's very good. So I do recommend it. I can't believe, I should have watched this movie like a long time ago. I mean, all the way through. I mean, I should have. Shame on me for not watching it all the way through ages ago, because, man, I was missing out. I got to get this movie on Blu-ray. I bought this DVD a long time ago, and again, I bought it for this. I need to get this on Blu-ray as well, because I love Space Camp. I love this movie. So maybe I'll try to buy. Maybe I'll try to buy them today. Speaking of which, I bought a whole bunch of new movies. And they're coming in the mail soon, and I'll tell you guys in a minute what I got. But I do recommend this. Let's see. What are my two favorite scenes? Let's see. My second favorite scene is probably when he gets arrested, and they put him in this. It's not even a jail. It's kind of like a holding cell, but it's like in this white room. And he kind of does a MacGyver and grabs all these random things and diffuses the lock. It's a remote control lock. And he's so smart. He just programs some shit, does some MacGyver shit on it. The door opens up and he sneaks out. So sneaking out, that's probably my second favorite scene. So sneaking out. And then my favorite scene, obviously, his girlfriend comes over and his computer finds all these numbers. He calls them and then he gets all these games. And that's when hell breaks loose and all this shit happens. So him actually getting the games and starting to play, it's the best scene out of the entire film, because then at first he's like, oh yeah, man, this is so cool. I'm having fun. It's awesome. And then once he realizes what he did, he's like, oh shit. And I'm like, oh shit is right. So there you are. So getting all the games. You definitely got to check it out. I mean, it's so good. It's fantastic. Fantastic. All right. All right. By the way, I hope everybody's having a good morning. Like I said, I'm having a pretty good morning. Pretty good morning. So, yeah. Let's start a goal, shall we? Let's see. Let's start a goal. What should I do? I'll do 5 super little chats. So 5 super little chats. That means it's $5 or less. Let's see. What should I do? If I get 5 super chats, and I'll set it for 45 minutes. Let's see. What should I do? Let's see. I'll jump in the ocean. In the cold. Like in the cold ocean. I will jump in the cold ocean. Because you guys loved it when I jumped in that lake, so I'll jump in an ocean. How about that? Start the goal. Kind of, trying to give back to the fans. There we are. So, yeah. Share it with the audience. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's continue on. Trick or Treat. I have been wanting to watch this movie for a long time, my friends. A long time. I loved it. I don't understand why it's just getting its audience now, because I did some research. It tanked at the box office. I mean, it was bad back in the day. It found its cult following, and I think in the 90s it had a DVD release. And what's cool about it is there's actual rockers in this. Ozzy Osbourne makes a cameo in it. That's pretty rad. Gene Simmons plays the radio disc jockey type of guy. So I don't understand why it didn't get its followers back in the day. It's good that it's got a cult following now. And it had a shit ton of bonus features. All this right here is bonus features. So I watched all of that last night before I'm going on Lantern's show, and I loved it. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. It takes a lot for Fears to give, a perfect 10 out of 10. So, Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat. 9 out of 10. Let's see. I would consider it's a action, adventure, horror with comedic aspects. So yeah, with comedic aspects. Let's see here. Great music in it. All the rock and roll sequences. Great. There's rock. There's metal in it. There's a bunch of songs in it. Like there's rock and roll. There's death metal. No screamo, but a lot of metal, a lot of rock and roll, and then just normal metal. So a lot of good stuff. So good music. It's definitely an independent film. When you watch it, you're like, oh, it looks like they didn't have much money. So, a good independent film. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Independent film for sure. They filmed it in South Carolina and North Carolina. Give me 1 second. All right. filmed in North and South Carolina. So Pixel's from there. Tommy's from there. So Tommy, Pixel, if you guys have never seen this movie, watch it. Good stuff. Let's see. Probably my second favorite scene is probably when the main character's friend almost gets killed. He almost gets killed, taking down the demon rocker, and his best friend, the nerdy guy's getting picked on, and he loves this band member, and then all of a sudden he comes home from school one day, and his favorite band member has died, and so he goes to the radio station, and he's friends with the disc jockey guy. Gene Simmons plays that character. Gene gives him a copy of this guy's latest and greatest record, and I forgot why, but he scratches the disc and like makes it go in reverse, and then he comes from beyond the grave and talks to him like, you got to get those bullies back, you know, for pranking you and treating you like crap. He does, and then he comes into the real world, and not only does he take out his revenge on all the bad people that hurt the main character, but also he gets back at all the people that bullied him too. And they went to the same high school. So yeah. So I'd say my second favorite scene is probably when the main character's nerdy friend tries to stop the guy, because his ego gets in the way, and he starts like obsessing about revenge and shit, you know, from beyond the grave. So the nerd's best friend almost dies. That's probably my second favorite scene. And then my favorite scene is when he finally gets to play. He was denied to play at the Halloween party because they went to the same high school, you know, when he was young. He gets to play. He comes back from beyond the grave, plays at the Halloween dance, and starts killing everybody at the Halloween dance as he's rocking out. So the Halloween dance is without a doubt the best scene out of the entire film. So the Halloween dance. That is, without a doubt, the best scene out of the entire film, my friends. It's absolutely spectacular. It's so good. So I do recommend this film. I'm glad that it found its audience finally. It took a little while, but I'm glad it found it. You know, better late than never. So it's got a cult following. Glad it found its audience, and I do recommend it. Good stuff, my friends. Whew. Anyway, oh yeah. And you know what? I think I'm going to save this for tomorrow. I'm going to review this tomorrow. So I have something to review. So let's go to the wall and pick something out for me to watch tonight or today. So, to the wall, shall we? Alright. Alright, let's see. I think I'm going to go with a little bit of Buried Alive. And good old Superman, my friends. I saw this in the theater, but I've yet to watch all the bonus features, so there we are. So Buried Alive and Superman. Those are today and tomorrow's watches. So yeah. All right. Here we are. All right. And last, but certainly not least, let's do some Halloween traditions, my friends. So, if you guys got a Halloween tradition, put it in the chat. So Halloween traditions. I'll write some of mine down. I'll write some of your guys' down. You let me know. So Halloween traditions. I always watch the original 1978 Halloween Michael Myers, either before Halloween or on Halloween, around there. So always watch Halloween 1978. Yo, what's up, Triple? Triple, nickel, pickle, tickle, wiggle, sickle, dickle, rickle, bickle, wickle. He says, yo, Fears, update on Blu-ray delivery, Fears. It says it should arrive tomorrow now. Ooh, nice. So on Saturday. I will definitely check the mail tomorrow. If it doesn't get there tomorrow, then I'll check it Monday. But hell yeah. Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what movie it is, Triple. Triple, can you give me a hint? Can you give me a hint on what movie it is? Because I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see what movie it is. But yeah. All right, so that's the first tradition. My second tradition is I always watch horror movies. So always watch as many horror movies as possible. I always go to Disney, or I try to go to Disney either on my birthday or around Halloween. So unfortunately, I'm not going to Disney on Halloween. I'm going to Disney the 28th and the 29th, spending Halloween at home and with you guys. Then on November 1st and 2nd, we're going to Spooky Empire. I cannot fucking wait. I'm waiting for the last item. If I don't get the eye patch by tomorrow, because it's from England, it's taken forever for the eye patch to get here because it's like in a Snake Plissken bag and all that. I just got to go to Spirit Halloween and just buy one because I am that's the only thing I need. So if I don't get it by tomorrow, on Sunday, I'm going to go to Spirit Halloween right after church, and I'm going to buy a fucking eye patch. Because that's the only thing. I've got the watch, I've got the pants, I got the black shirt. I'm going to wear my my black Converse shoes because I'm going to put my own little spin on Snake Plissken. That's the only thing I'm waiting for, you know? So, yeah. Anyway. So, let's see. So, always try to go to Disney. Let's see. Eat candy, for sure. So, eat candy. If I'm in Missouri, I help my mom hand out candy. So, help hand out candy. Let's see. Whenever I can, I wear a costume. You know, I've worn a costume the last couple of years. Some years I've skipped wearing a costume, but the last couple of years I have not. I think for the last, let's see that. I think for the last 3 years, I've worn a costume. I was the Ranch Bottle. I was Scream. Now I'm going to be Snake Plissken. Snake Plissken's going to be hard to beat, you know, next year. I'm going to have to get creative. Or maybe I'll just be Snake Plissken again because that watch was kind of expensive. So, I don't know. We'll see. So, wear a costume. I'm going to leave you guys with those 6. But let me know your guys' tradition. Put them in the chat. Put them in the chat. Anyway. Triple says, let me think of a hint. Yes. Well, Triple, hurry up and do it real quick because Fears is about to take off. Whew, there we are. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I got to all my topics. Hell yeah. So, yeah. My final note, I would just not listen to Danny D. He's a pathetic little evil shit making fun of me for talking about horror movies. Really? Really, Danny? Are we 5 years old or are we adults? If I ever met Danny in real life, it would be no contest. I would knock his fucking head into the ground. He's just an annoying little moron shit that acts like a little 3-year-old infant, making fun of me because I'm talking about horror movies. Well, guess what, Danny? If you continue, I will be taking your channel down. I will keep harassing you until you eventually stop. So I would stop. And that's not a threat. That's a promise. So yeah. Anyway. I'm sure he will. Because he's a little scared pansy, and what he does is he'll say something and then he won't say anything for like 5, 6, 7, 8 months. And then his little bitch ass will open up his mouth and, then I'll have to deal with it. So I'll just take some videos down and annoy him. Because if trolls hate anything, they hate when I take down their channels and they hate it when I take down their videos. So I know Danny D's both of his channels. So if he keeps it up, I'll just take down some videos. I'll take down some channels. So, and I have no problem doing that. So, yeah. Anyway. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hell yeah. Anyway, Triple, any final hints? Anything? If not, I'm going to skedaddle. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was kind of nice to switch things up, do a morning show before I get some sleep, because I am getting a little tired. And we went for about an hour and 8 minutes and 17 seconds, so not too bad. Anyway, right after I get done here, I'm going to finish the rest of my breakfast, because I had some toast, and I finished the toast. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to probably take that book back, now that I read it to you guys at the library, because it's due in a couple of days. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to get a little nap. A little nappy time. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess Triple is toying with me and not going to give me a hint. Well, that's all right, buddy. That's okay. That's all right. Well, I can't wait. And Triple, I appreciate it. You're a good guy. You're a good friend. I appreciate you sending me some fan mail. I cannot wait to see what it is. You said it's a classic film that Visions wants me to watch. So I'm very excited. I'm just glad it's not Edward Penis Hands. I'll let Visions have that. He loves that. I don't want to take that away from him. I have zero interest in Edward Penis Hands. So thank God you said, oh, no, Fears. It's a classic movie. And I went, all right, great. Cool. Awesome. So there it is. All right. Well, Fears loves you guys. Fears cares about you guys. I'll see you guys tonight. I'll probably make a cameo on Lantern's show. Come in, say hello. Me and Lantern will talk about farting for about a half an hour, and then I'll skedaddle. Anyway, I love you guys. You guys are the best fans ever. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Chicken Wizard on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crumbles, F Crumbles, in the chat. Subscribe to Triple Nickel Pickle Tickle Wickle Sickle Dickle Rickle Rickle Bickle. Subscribe to Cameo Man 2021 and his second channel, The Mayor of Magic. Follow the Sega Camp Gamer and Wear Camp on YouTube. And last, but certainly not least, follow the host with the most, the leader of the community, Fears, the Fears Man, Fears Man 26 on YouTube, and my second channel, Fears Vlogs. Fears loves you guys. Fears cares about you guys. And this is Fears, signing off. Peace! Deuces! And I'll see you guys later. Shunk!